Welcome to our channel. Today, we share an unforgettable tale of a brave little puppy who faced a massive, terrifying storm. Dark, heavy clouds quickly gathered across the once peaceful sky, bringing an unexpected and violent tempest to the quiet suburban neighborhood. A playful golden retriever puppy was happily enjoying the cool grass, completely unaware of the dangerous weather rapidly approaching his home. Suddenly, a deafening crack of thunder shook the ground beneath him, sending absolute panic straight through the tiny dog's racing heart. Terrified by the incredibly loud noise, the frightened puppy dashed wildly through an open wooden gate, leaving his safe yard behind. Cold, heavy raindrops began to fall relentlessly from the darkened sky, soaking his golden fur within a matter of mere seconds. He ran blindly down unfamiliar streets, his small paws splashing frantically through rapidly growing puddles as the fierce storm worsened around him. The intense wind howled loudly, making it almost impossible for the tiny creature to see where his trembling legs were carrying him. Stopping at a lonely intersection, the exhausted puppy looked around in sheer terror, realizing he was now completely and utterly lost. As the dark night quickly fell, the brutal storm continued to rage relentlessly, leaving the poor dog desperate for any safe shelter. Through the blinding rain, he finally spotted an old, ruined porch attached to a completely abandoned house at the street's end. Gathering his remaining strength, the shivering puppy crawled carefully underneath the broken wooden boards to escape the freezing, harsh, and cruel downpour. While trying to catch his breath in the dark shadows, his sensitive ears suddenly picked up a very faint, desperate little sound. He cautiously sniffed the damp earth, following the strange noise through the scattered debris hidden deep beneath the old, collapsing porch structure. In the darkest corner, he discovered a soggy, torn cardboard box that was slowly falling apart from the relentless, heavy rainwater. With a gentle nudge of his wet black nose, the curious puppy slowly pushed the damaged cardboard flaps open to look inside. Inside lay a tiny, fragile kitten, completely soaked to the bone and shivering violently against the cold, unforgiving cardboard box floor. The helpless little feline let out a weak, pitiful meow, looking up at the large puppy with wide, utterly terrified green eyes. Slowly and carefully, the gentle golden retriever took a step forward, wagging his tail softly to show he meant absolutely no harm. He lowered his head and began to tenderly lick the freezing kitten's wet fur, trying desperately to provide some much-needed comfort. Feeling the sudden warmth, the tiny kitten weakly leaned into the dog's soft snout, seeking refuge from the terrible freezing storm outside. Understanding the assignment, the brave puppy carefully curled his larger, furry body tightly around the fragile kitten to block the freezing wind. Together in the dark, they formed a small, perfect sphere of shared body heat, protecting each other from the unforgiving, harsh elements. The terrifying storm continued to howl fiercely outside their makeshift shelter, but inside the dark corner, a beautiful new friendship was blooming. Despite the roaring thunder and pouring rain, the unlikely pair eventually fell into a deep, peaceful sleep, completely comforted by mutual warmth. Golden morning light finally pierced through the broken wooden slats of the porch, signaling the ultimate end of the long, terrifying night. The heavy rain had entirely stopped, replaced by the gentle, cheerful chirping of little birds singing happily in the freshly washed trees. Down the quiet street, an exhausted owner was desperately walking and calling out the beloved puppy's name with a heavy, breaking heart. Holding a red leash tightly in his trembling hands, the worried man scanned every single yard, hoping for a miraculous, joyful reunion. Underneath the damp porch, the sleeping puppy suddenly twitched his ears, instantly recognizing the familiar, loving voice echoing down the quiet street. He let out a loud, joyful bark to signal his location, but he absolutely refused to leave his new, tiny feline friend. Hearing the distinct bark, the relieved owner immediately sprinted across the wet grass, dropping to his knees beside the ruined wooden porch. He grabbed a flashlight and peered anxiously into the dark, damp crawl space, desperate to finally see his beloved, missing, furry family member. His eyes widened in absolute amazement when he saw his brave puppy firmly wrapped around a tiny, sleeping kitten in the dirt. Tears of pure joy filled his eyes as he smiled warmly, gently reaching his hands out to rescue the sweet, inseparable pair. He carefully gathered both animals into his warm, loving arms, promising to give them a safe, forever home together from now on. Sometimes losing your way helps you find someone who needs you.
Welcome to your new home,
Thanks
guys.
for watching Pet Playtime
Everything is
Paradise
gonna be okay now.
9999 today.